Cozumel is one of the busiest cruise ports on the entire planet, and everyone online wants to tell you it's pure paradise. So I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to tell you the 5 worst things about cruising to Cozumel. Hi, I'm Melissa, a university professor who loves to cruise and who loves to talk ship. Now, let me start by being totally honest with you about what I'm doing here, because I respect you too much to pretend. Negativity, we know, gets the clicks. A video called The 5 Worst Things will always outperform a video called 5 Reasons Why I Love This Place. You know it, I know it, the algorithm absolutely knows it. So yeah, we're gaming the system together right now, and I'm not even a little bit sorry about it. But here's where I'm gonna do things differently. I'm not gonna lie to you about it. Every single port does have its bad parts, Cozumel included, and you deserve to know these before you book a thing. So I'm gonna hit you first with 5 legit downsides, and then, because I'm a ray of freaking sunshine, I'm gonna flip this whole thing on its head and give you the 5 best things about cruising to Cozumel, because those are every bit as true. Bad news first, and then the good stuff, I promise. So let's go. Worst thing number 1, sargassum. That's that brown seaweed-like stuff, but it's a little different than seaweed, that washes up on some Caribbean beaches, and Cozumel gets its fair share of it. It's seasonal and it's unpredictable, so it really comes down to basically timing a little bit, but also luck. Some sailings you'll step onto a beach that looks like a postcard. Other times though, you'll find piles of it along the waterline, and when it sits and bakes in the sun, it smells not good. The beach clubs, they rake it and bulldoze it constantly, but on a bad week, no amount of raking or bulldozing is gonna win over sargassum. It's the one part of your beach day that you just cannot control, and nobody warns first-timers about it. Now, my honest tip, it varies a lot year to year and month to month, so it's worth a quick search for recent Cozumel beach reports of the time that you're gonna go, so at least you know what you might be walking into. But it is unpredictable, and that's a bad thing about cruising to Cozumel. Worst thing number 2, you're on an island. It's a beautiful island, but that means your day is basically beaches and water. And I know that sounds like a complaint written by someone who hates joy, but stick with me. Cozumel is an island off the coast of Mexico, which means that your day here is mostly beach clubs, snorkeling, diving, and pool time. Now, if that's your idea of a good time, that's awesome, you're gonna love it. But if you're the kind of traveler who wants ancient ruins, history, culture, and those big jaw-dropping moments, the island itself is pretty limited. Worst thing number 3. Related to that, the truly incredible cultural stuff, that's on the mainland. And it's tough to get there on a cruise clock. Like I mentioned, the famous Mayan ruins, they're in this region, just not on Cozumel. You get the little tiny and man-made ones on Cozumel. The big famous ones like Chichen Itza and the big, beautiful cenotes, you're gonna find those on the mainland. Now, I did recently check out some cenotes in Cozumel. They're okay, but they're certainly not like what you're gonna find across the water in Playa del Carmen. Now, you can get there, you can take a ferry, or you can book an excursion. It can be done, but that's gonna eat up a lot of time on your port day. So if you have dreams of swimming in a gorgeous, refreshing, cool cenote in Mexico, or seeing these ancient Mayan ruins, Cozumel's probably not the port to go pursue. Worst thing number 4, it is crowded. Cozumel is one of the highest volume cruise ports in the world, and on a busy day, you can have several enormous ships in port at the same time, all unloading thousands of people who want to go to the same exact beach clubs, take the same taxis, and go to the same snorkel spots that you do. Downtown San Miguel gets packed, the popular beach clubs fill up, and if you don't move with a little intention early in the day, you can spend a chunk of your visit standing in a line or hunting for a beach chair. It's popular for good reasons, but popular comes with a cost. The fix is simple, just not always easy. You gotta get off the ship early, have a plan for where you're headed before the gangway even opens, and book your beach club or your tour ahead of time because they do sell out. A little bit of planning here is the entire difference between a relaxed day and a frustrating one. Worst thing number 5. There are 3 different cruise piers here, and it trips people up constantly. Cozumel has these multiple piers spread out along the coast, and which your ship uses changes where you start your day, how far you are from downtown, and how far you are from those beach clubs. People just assume they'll stroll right off the ship into town, and then they realize their pier is actually a taxi ride away from everything. Now, it's not a catastrophe, but if you don't know which pier you're on and roughly where it sits, you can waste your time and money just getting your bearings. So figure out your pier before you ever step off that ship. All right, that's the real bad. Those are 5 real downsides, no sugarcoating. But I do want to throw in an honorable mention, and this is interesting because it can be a bad thing or good thing depending on your side of the ship, I guess you could say. But I want to talk about pier runners. You know what they are, those people sprinting down the pier in their flip-flops, or sometimes staggering slowly along the pier with their frozen drinks still in their hand, melting, while everyone is cheering them on, and the crew is trying to bring the gangway up. Now, I don't have any official numbers on this, but I've cruised enough. I will say that I think Cozumel has the highest percentage of pier runners of any other cruise port destination in the world. Because face it, this is a port where people hit those bars right by the pier, they overindulge, they get a little too comfortable at those all-inclusive beach clubs, they want to get their money's worth at the all all-inclusive beach clubs and they completely lose track of time. So if you're the one running on the pier trying to not miss the ship, it's probably your worst day, a big downside. But if you're the kind of person comfortably back on the ship and cheering on the pier runners, it can be a really good time. And speaking of a good time, let's talk about the 5 best things about cruising to Cozumel. Cozumel is popular for a reason, and a lot of these reasons are absolutely wonderful. So here are the 5 best things about cruising here. And if you want the full breakdown of exactly how I do this port, I'll drop my complete free Cozumel guide down below. But the best stuff, starting now. Best thing number 1, that beach club culture. It is unmatched. Cozumel has turned the beach day into an art form. You can buy a single day pass and just like that, you've got beach chairs, pools, good food, drinks, bathroom, showers, and sometimes things like snorkel gear and stand-up paddling, stuff like that. All in one place, all handled for you. And there's a whole range of them, from big, lively, music-thumping party spots like Mr. Sancho's to quieter, more laid-back places where you can actually chill and hear yourself think, like Nachi Kokom or Paradise Beach. So you can match the beach club to your exact mood. For a cruise port, this is just about as easy and good as a beach day gets anywhere in the Caribbean, and you don't have to spend money on a cruise line excursion to enjoy it. Best thing number 2. It's affordable. And that counts for more than ever right now when everything is like crazy expensive. Cruising itself has gotten super expensive, so a port where your actual day doesn't have to cost you a fortune is a legit gift. The beach clubs here are a strong value compared to what you'll pay in a lot of the Caribbean. The food and drinks are reasonable, especially if it's bundled in all-inclusive, and you can absolutely have a fantastic day in Cozumel without torching your budget. Now, you can spend big if you want, sure, but the point is you don't have to. And that kind of flexibility is pretty rare in cruise world these days. You control the dial from a nearly free beach day or a cheap all-inclusive to a splurge, and either version can be really awesome. Best thing number 3, it is really easy to get around here. One of those 3 piers that I told you about drops you right into downtown San Miguel, which is walkable, packed with shops and restaurants, and easy to enjoy entirely on foot. And when you do want to go further out, the taxis here, regardless of which pier you're docked, they're everywhere. There are taxi stands, they're very safe, they're regulated, prices are regulated, the government keeps a close eye on this, and they're going to protect their tourists. So here you're not unsafe, you're not trying to decode some complicated transit system, you're not renting a car and stressing about foreign roads. You get in a taxi stand, hop in a taxi, which you're guided to, you go to a beach club, there's taxis waiting to bring you right back. So for a foreign port, the logistics here are about as low stress as they come. Best thing number 4, related to number 3, it's really easy to navigate Cozumel as an American, even if you've never left the country. This is a big one for nervous first-time cruisers. You don't need to convert currency because US dollars are accepted just about everywhere. You don't need to speak Spanish because English is widely spoken throughout pretty much all of Cozumel. This is one of the most beginner-friendly international ports you can possibly sail to, and that's a huge part of why so many people have their very first foreign country moment right there in Cozumel. It takes all the intimidation out of stepping off a ship into a foreign country. Best thing number 5, the calls here are usually nice and long, or long-ish. So there are some Caribbean ports like Grand Cayman. I love Grand Cayman, but I hate that it's a tender port. The calls here tend to be short. So by the time you tender to shore, do your thing, beach day, excursion, whatever, tender back, it feels like you only have a couple hours in port. So most calls to Cozumel are a little bit longer, and they all have piers. They're not tender. I like that too. And the place is just flat out beautiful. And then there's the water. Assuming that the sargassum isn't doing its thing, Cozumel is a great place for beautiful water and amazing snorkeling. Cozumel sits right there on the Mesoamerican Reef, which is the 2nd largest barrier reef system on the planet, and the snorkeling and diving here are world class. Clear, warm, ridiculously blue water. It's a little different than that turquoise water you find in the Bahamas, but gorgeous, and a reef that you're never going to forget if you're into snorkeling. So say whatever you want about the seaweed and the crowds, when Cozumel is Cozumelin, it is absolutely stunning. And that reef is a big reason why snorkelers and divers keep coming back. There's a lot of things you can nitpick about a cruise port, but when it comes to Cozumel, it's pretty tough to say that this is not an awesome cruise port, because it is.